getting the chat set up. Oh, man. Give it a few minutes, couple minutes here, let everybody kind of trickle in. We won't have a real long stream today. It'll be kind of short. I got a lot to do tonight at work. A little bit of an update studio-wise. I ran into some technical issues with my laptop. I'm not the most computer tech-savvy guy out there. So I had to just kind of do some cleanup on my laptop, kind of format some things, clear a bunch of space out. I was kind of targeting this week to start, uploading more regularly, but I was really sick yesterday and kind of missed out on that. So I'm probably going to tomorrow morning do like a trial run to see how well it works out. Basically, I wouldn't expect any good videos put out by me this week. Just gonna do some live streams and some short content. I just want to do some tests, make sure everything's plumb level and square before we jump in with both feet and really just start kind of ripping out content left and right. I'd really like to establish 2 videos a day that I could upload for you guys. But to do that, I got to get up, relatively early to get some things done at home, then record the videos, then edit the videos, and then upload the videos. And, if you talk to anybody that's ever made videos before, like, the recording the video is like the easy part. The time consuming is in the editing. And then like editing, I don't mind so much. It's it's all the like back end stuff, all of the like descriptions and tags and thumbnail making and all that shit that just like, that kind of drives me up the wall, man. That seems to be one of the biggest issues for me. I don't mind recording and finding stuff to talk about. Like I said, I can talk for days, man. I got the gift of gab. Been a couple minutes here. We got one person hanging out. That's what's up. Appreciate you hanging out. All right, yeah, so let's get into it then. Got 2 people hanging out. That's what's up. Appreciate it. We're just getting into the news. JMO last night, it was unofficially official, and then this morning it was official. Jameson Williams cannot get out of his own way to save his life. Coming off the heels of a nice 31-29. Oh, I don't know who you are. Sorry. I hope that didn't mess anything up. My phone was ringing. Okay, yeah, so coming off the heels of the big 31-29 win in Minnesota, where we then took control of the NFC North, Kings of the North, let's go us, behind the leg of Jake Bates. The Ballad of Jake Bates continues to grow, you guys. Those of you who followed the channel for a while know that I'm a big Jake Bates fan. Been watching him since the UFL. Been really rooting for the guy, and he has just had ice water in his veins. Coming out there nailing big kicks when the lights are brightest. He has yet to let us down. Obviously, that time will come where he will have a hiccup, and that's to be expected. He's a rookie kicker who is growing into his role as a full-time extra point field goal specialist. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy never did it beforehand. So it was good to see that. Nice little win. Brian Branch really stepping up. Something I was kind of hoping we would see with Hutch kind of going down is, fortunately, nobody wanted to see Hutch get hurt. But you now get to see other guys elevate their play, step up, make names for them. Not necessarily make names for themselves, but make big splash plays. Really, the last 2 weeks in a row, Brian Branch has just been playing out of his mind. In fact, I might do maybe. Oh man, I'd love to do a video about it. But I don't know if I can get it cranked out. Pro Football Focus (PFF) has actually graded Brian Branch out as the best player in all of football, regardless of position. Brian Branch, our safety, has just been absolutely dominant every single snap he's on the field. And like I say, PFF has him graded out as the #1 player, the best player, regardless of position in the entire NFL. So props to Brian Branch. He deserves all the flowers there. Had a real great INT in the back of the end zone against Justin Jefferson. I've seen a little interview with him. Maybe I could try and find a segment of that. But Brian Branch was... he was interviewed, and they were talking about how him and Kirby Joseph had kind of talked about how to disguise a cover 1 shell with a cover 2 by sneaking Brian Branch down into the flat and really baiting Sam Darnold into that INT, which was just beautiful to see. And then furthermore on that game, we did see Monty get a little dinged up. I haven't seen too much news about him, but shout out David Montgomery not scoring a touchdown. I had 3 parlays out there, an 8-leg, a 3-leg, and a 4-leg. The 3 and the 4-leg just needed a Monty touchdown to hit, and that 8-leg parlay That 8-leg parlay fell one leg short, and it wasn't Monty. It was Justin Jefferson having 88 of 100 receiving yards and needed him to have over 99.5 receiving yards. So Justin Jefferson shit the bed for me on an 8-leg parlay. So I will never again ever put Justin Jefferson into any leg of any parlay ever again. So been here a few minutes. We're 5.5 minutes in. People have come and gone. Appreciate the one of you sticking around, hanging out. People don't like listen to me ramble, so whatever. But what we're here to talk about is Jameson Williams not being able to stay out of his own way. Career recap, you guys already know. His rookie season was really hindered by that torn ACL that he sustained in the national championship game in college. You've seen his draft stock fall a little bit to try and make a sick move with Minnesota, utilizing some of our draft capital that we got out of the Matthew Stafford trade to go up and get J-Mo. Brad Holmes seems to know what was coming with having to let him rehab, let him, grow and develop, realizing that his rookie year is essentially just going to be a redshirt year. Then you bring him in his second year, but unfortunately, on his second year, J-Mo is saddled with originally a 6-game suspension because he got caught gambling on non-NFL related sport inside of an NFL club facility. So he was suspended originally last year. J-Mo was suspended 6 games. But if you recall, the NFL changed their the rules on gambling. So what we've seen was a 6-game suspension reduced down to a 4-game suspension. As we all know, it still seemed that J-Mo really needed to have a full offseason with the organization to develop camaraderie and a chemistry with Jared Goff. His second year was a little hit or miss. We did see some nice splash plays, but nothing that you could really hang your hat on and say, there he is. There's a number 2 guy. Excuse me. And then this year, training camp kicked off, and J-Mo was just highlight reel after highlight reel in training camp. He looked bigger, faster, stronger. We now know why, because he got suspended for PEDs or PESs. I don't know. I think they're trying to change the phrasing. Pardon me while I burp and hiccup my way through this video. So training camp, bigger, faster, stronger. Then we really start to see he's got a lot of chemistry with Goff. The first couple weeks of the year, I'm not saying Amon-Ra wasn't a contributor. He was, but J-Mo was getting all the splash plays, all the highlight reels, and heading, after week 7, after we just got done with Minnesota, where he was only targeted once for -4 yards on his 1 reception. J-Mo was still number 2 on the team in receiving yards and touchdowns. I think he has 360 some receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. So almost 400 yards and pushing forward. Basically, he's getting a touchdown every 100 yards that he's out on the field, which is incredibly productive, especially say, what if he had 1,400 yards? Are we talking about a 14 touchdown season? And I'm starting to think that looking at his target share and his usage. Now, J-Mo was used well in the running game. I've actually been very impressed with Jameson Williams' run blocking ability. Maybe that is PED related. What's up, y'all in the chat? Go ahead and smash like if you're new here. I really appreciate it. We do use J-Mo downfield run blocking. He's a run block, really good at that. And he was really starting to break out this year, but then heading into week 7, I was a little concerned with the usage that J-Mo was getting. We actually seen a lot of Khalif Raymond on the field, and over the past couple weeks, we have seen an uptick in my guy Fireball Tim Patrick's production. I kind of thought, I've seen a couple articles where Jared Goff had been talking about, how he was starting to rely on Fireball Tim Patrick, how he was starting to become more integrated to the offense, more chemistry between the two of them. I think Tim Patrick's actually fit into that Josh Reynolds role exceedingly well. I think he's a bigger, faster, more physical version of Josh Reynolds. I think he's been excelling over the past 3 weeks in particular. 2 weeks ago, we seen him have, nearly a touchdown on 50 yards receiving, which is pretty productive out of a number 3 wide receiver in a offense where there's a lot of mouths to feed. Outside of Amon-Ra and J-Mo, then you got Laporta and then the running backs. And there's just a lot of mouths to feed. And sometimes if the game script doesn't call for it, you're not going to get a lot of targets, a lot of production. And maybe that's kind of what we could have chalked up the week 7 performance against Minnesota to, with Jameson Williams, 1 target, 1 catch, -4 yards. Or I'm starting to think Brad Holmes has some inside knowledge into the NFL, because now when you look back to the Cameron Sutton situation, I feel like Brad Holmes kind of knew that was coming, And that's why they weren't real hesitant on releasing him. And that's why you've seen him early go after Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson, almost like you knew, almost like Brad Holmes knew that something was coming down the line with Cameron Sutton. And I think that you've seen this week the production, the distribution to Khalif Raymond, to Fireball Tim Patrick, Amon-Ra, and Sam Laporta. I think the brass knew that something was coming down the pike for JMO. Now, it really fucking sucks that Jameson Williams just refuses to get out of his own goddamn way, right? Time and time again, you see it with these hyper-talented guys who just can't get out of their own way. Do I think he's going to Titus Young his way out of the league? No. Do I think he's going to Henry Ruggs his way out of the league? No. I did see, JMO has been interviewed about this. They did ask him how he felt about it. And he's being mature, man. He's like, yo, I got to take this on the chin. It is what it is. And what am I supposed to do? I'm just going to deal with the suspension. I'm going to ride it out. And he said he's really excited. He wants to get back to work with the guys. And that's great. But, bro, JMO, you got to keep your nose clean, dude. You've got to start keeping your nose clean, because even though you do have all the talent in the world, availability is the best ability, my guy. Your rookie year, we can scrap that, but people will still chalk that up as a lost year because of your injury. Your sophomore year, suspension, missed some games, not necessarily the most productive year. This year, you were coming into it, you had a lot of momentum behind you, you were excelling, you were doing really, really well. Missing 2 games because of suspension looks really crappy versus missing 2 games because of injury. Now, do these 2 games, are they going to hinder him his production? No, I do. I think JMO can still hit 1,000 yards receiving easily on the season. I don't think you'll see double-digit touchdowns out of him now, because Jared Goff is a very chemistry. Everything has to be in time. Everything has to be kind of following its route. You know what I'm saying? And now when you remove JMO from this piece for a couple weeks, he can't be affiliated with the team at all. He's got to be completely detached from OTA or our practices, film study, that type of shit. You're going to see Jared Goff go back to relying on Khalif Raymond, who he has played now his entire Detroit. Yeah, Khalif's been with Goff through the whole Detroit tenure, right? I believe so. You'll see Fireball Tim Patrick being involved more. Obviously, Amon-Ra. I mean, I don't know what more you want out of Amon-Ra. He catches everything. He's multiple double-digit catches, multiple 100-yard games, and a touchdown. Amon-Ra is always going to get his, right? But what I'm worried about is now there isn't that guy that can take the top off the defense like JMO can. So you're going to be a little bit kneecapped in your offense. You're going to be able to not necessarily go as deep as you want on those Jared Goff play action passes where, you're pounding the rock all game long, and then you come out middle of the third quarter while the defense is just sucking wind. You've been pounding with Monty and Gibbs all day. You do a little play action pass, and JMO is just gone. Just ran past everybody, and all Goff's got to do is throw it as far down the field as he possibly can. That sucks, right? You're going to lose that for a couple weeks, but luckily it is a 50-50 week, right? So this week we got Tennessee. It's kind of a trap game, right? Could be a little bit of trap that we're walking into, but I think that we are going to be able to handle Tennessee regardless if JMO was available or not, right? So if JMO was hurt, and I wouldn't be worried about it. I am worried about the following week where we got to go to Lambeau, right? And we could be competing for, obviously control of the North by then, and Green Bay is no slouch, right? So it really sucks. It really sucks the timing wise. Could be worse timing. Could be better timing. Could never happen at all. But if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, then we'd all have a Merry Christmas. If my grandmother would have been born with wheels, she'd have been a wagon, right? Anyway, so concerned about Green Bay more so than I am Tennessee. But, what really sucks is that this draft class, the first 2 picks we had in this draft, because this is, JMO and Hutch were drafted together, right? And that just really fucking sucks that not only did Hutch just absolutely obliterate his leg, but now his first round draft buddy, JMO, also is going to miss a couple of games. And it's not because of injury, it's because he keeps doing dumb shit, right? I don't know, man. It seemed kind of weird. I didn't necessarily chalk it up to PEDs because it didn't look to be that drastic of a change. But, let's be honest, JMO was not that big of a dude. He did not have that much bulk and mass to him to where when he came back this offseason, in training camp, I was like, Jesus Christ, my guy must have put on 10 fucking pounds of muscle. It's doable. It's totally doable. But he didn't lose a step. You know what I'm saying? He didn't lose any speed or agility or none of that shit. And like I said, it is totally possible. We see a lot of body transformation especially with the Detroit Lions. Not only do you have high intensity workout guys like David Montgomery and Amon-Ra St. Brown, but then you've seen the transformation that Ali McNeil was able to do 2 years ago. You've seen the body transformation that Broderick Martin was able to do this last offseason. You see a lot of guys who are able to get into the weight room and really take advantage of it. But I just don't see a guy like JMO being able to put on 10 pounds of muscle like that and still be able to carry himself the way that he's been carrying him. I mean, it's just, it all kind of makes sense now if you're really looking at it. So, all right, guys, I think that's going to about do it for me. I got to quick pack down some lunch and then got to go change out some more of these lights because, evidently it's really hard to wire up lights by these geniuses. So, I'm so excited. If there's nothing I love more than going behind people and having to double check and redo their work for them, but it is what it is. So, hey, I appreciate you guys all hanging out. Those of you that are just coming in late, you go ahead and go back through and rewatch this. I appreciate you stopping by. Smash the like on your way out the door. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. We always love having people engage in comments, be part of the community. I try to comment and reply to as many of them as long as it's not too stupid. I try to reply to them as much as I can. I generally enjoy the community and the repertoire that we're starting to establish here. Share this around with your friends. It helps the channel grow. We're almost at 540 subscribers right now, so that big 600 is coming up around the corner, and we're really hoping to hit 1,000 by the end of the 2025 NFL season. But at the end of this season, we're really hoping to have 1,000 subs heading into the off season, so we can start doing all kinds of mock drafts and draft content. And, I really get off on that kind of stuff, guys. So, hey, I appreciate it, y'all. Try and have yourself a good rest of the night. Stay out of trouble. That's going to be it for me. So, banga banga. Frig off.